Trindon Holiday. Dangerous 5'5", 5 foot, 5 inches tall. Waiting for the kick from Hauschka. Off we go. He's going to bring it. Wrapped up short of the 15. Derek Coleman, first guy down there. A 20-yard return, but well covered by the Seahawks.
Yeah, coming into this game, Joe, certainly special teams, one of the units that is overlooked. Both of these teams have outstanding returners. Holiday elects to take it out of the back of the end zone. Ends up being a poor decision, starting the ball off here on what, the 14-yard line for the Broncos.
Record year for the 37-year-old, now 5-time MVP, Peyton Manning. It's snapped over the head of Peyton Manning. A flag is down, and the ball's out of the back of the end zone. It's a safety to start this game as Manning wasn't ready.
Illegal motion. Offense number 18, moving toward the snap. Penalties decline. Safety.
You know, you can talk about it being a quote-unquote corporate crowd. This crowd is loud. They talk about the 12th man in Seattle. Look how this game starts.
Yeah, but just a miscommunication there. Peyton Manning is coming up to the line to either make a protection check or change the play. And Manny Ramirez, the center, he doesn't know that. He snaps it over his head. And you look at this, Joe, and the experience of Peyton Manning and how well they executed the line of scrimmage. You talk about it each and every time you watch the Denver Broncos, and a miscommunication on the first play of the Super Bowl.
Well, that's obviously, as you say, a story we'll be watching all evening long. With all that goes on with Peyton Manning up at the line of scrimmage, he was moving up from his shotgun position. Moreno got on it and at least avoided the touchdown, gets the safety, and a conversation between Peyton Manning and his center, Manny Ramirez. But it is loud. You and I were talking, Troy, before we kick this thing off, even 45 minutes before the game. This is not a typical Super Bowl crowd. It doesn't feel that way, at least to me, at all.
No, I would agree with that, Joe. But as far as that play, I really don't think it had so much to do with the crowd noise as, you know, some nerves. You never know how guys are going to react. And Manny Ramirez, I mean, he made a poor decision. Like I said, we see a lot of this from Denver at the line of scrimmage.
Fastest score in Super Bowl history on the safety, and now Golden Tate after the free kick. Out across the 35. Brandon Marshall there to make the stop. And here comes Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, who has 27 wins over his first 2 years in the NFL, including the postseason, ties for the most ever with Ben Roethlisberger. And he can use his legs, he uses his arm, he can use his mind. He's a smart young man.
Well, you talk about nerves and what we just saw. I thought going back to that NFC Championship game, Russell Wilson, he wasn't quite as calm and collected as you would expect. Interesting to see how he does here in the early going.
It's Lynch. And Lynch just shy of the 39-yard line. A gain of 3. Sylvester Williams, the rookie, made the stop. And we heard about it before the game, and we will see a lot of Marshawn Lynch. Didn't do much talking into microphones during the week, but he does it with those churning legs. They just keep pounding you.
Well, he's not only the heartbeat of this offense, he really is the heartbeat of this football team.
Percy Harvin at the top of the screen. And in motion. They get it to him. He gets a block on the edge. Welcome back, Percy Harvin. And he's out of bounds with a big play on second down. 30-yard carry by Percy Harvin, who just touched the ball for only the 7th time this entire season.
Well, we were at Friday practice, Joe. We saw Percy Harvin involved in the game plan throughout that practice, and here they run him on a reverse. They put him in motion. Robert Ayers, he's the defensive end there, but they had a safety work into that position, and he didn't drop down either. Big play for Seattle.
Seahawks gave up 3 draft picks, including a #1, and a lot of money. That's a false start.
False start. Offense, number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's the big left tackle, Russell Okung, who was guilty of the false start. But when we talked to both Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll, their eyes just lit up when they talked about Percy Harvin. And Russell Wilson said, I just don't know how anybody could be faster than Percy Harvin. He had hip surgery earlier, but well, he's flying around.
Well, in practice on Thursday, Joe, it looked like he had a jetpack strapped to his back.
Trying to catch his breath on the sideline. Wilson out to his right. He's got his tight end. Miller is overthrown, and he was all alone out there, and maybe an early indication of the nerves and the jitters for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he really had his pick. He had Zach Miller in the flat, who he overthrew, and he also had Golden Tate on a deep crossing route. He could have come back to him, and you know, this is some of what I talked about, that you know, Russell Wilson said, hey, I'm going to treat it like any other game, and that sounds good, but it's not any other game, and sometimes the adrenaline and the emotion get the better of you early in a game.
Second down and 15. That one's gone for a catch. Getting 6 to Jermaine Kearse. So how good is this defense, Troy? I mean, it's been so much better, the Denver defense, the last 4 games, and they have lost Von Miller, Kevin Vickerson, Raheem Moore, Derek Wolfe, Chris Harris. It's been a rough year back there.
It has, and they've overcome a lot, as you said, Joe. And the best thing you can say about Denver right now is they're playing their best football, which is what you want.
On 3rd down and 9, pass caught, first down. That's Kearse again. Yards from Russell Wilson to Jermaine Kearse, the big-bodied receiver for the Seahawks.
Yeah, they like the slant route. Seattle does. They had the 2 receivers on each side. Both of them, all 4 of them actually, are running the slants. He had his choice: work the inside guy or take the outside guy to take. He elects Kearse. Big 3rd down conversion.
Here's Lynch. Second carry of the game, and Marshawn Lynch lost yardage. A loss of 2, and it was Terrence Knighton who has made a name for himself here down the stretch for the Denver defense up front to make that play.
And to tell you just how much of a difference he has made, Joe, in visiting with Russell Wilson on Thursday, I asked him about this Denver defense, and the first guy he named was Terrence Knighton. And I can tell you, after having talked to a lot of quarterbacks, no quarterback I've ever heard speaks of the nose tackle as the first defender they got to worry about.
On 2nd down and 12, Wilson keeps it out to his left, and he's forced out of bounds. 3rd down coming up. So we saw the first throw from Wilson overthrowing Zach Miller. Last 2 throws have been good. This 6-yard carry brings up a manageable 3rd down of about 3rd and 6.
That's twice now Robert Ayers, the defensive end, has failed to contain. He didn't get up the field there off of the read option look by Russell Wilson, and he's able to get outside and pick up some pretty good yardage.
8th play of the drive. Wilson going to try and pick it up with his legs, dives, depends on the spot. And they're going to mark him a yard shy. 4th down and 1.
I talked about Robert Ayers, and you're going to see him at the defensive end position, and he gets up the field, and then he comes underneath. And when you do that, Joe, you really open up the lane for the quarterback. Now, Jack Del Rio talked about it. They want to make Russell Wilson escape to his left, but you've got to be able to pursue him then when he gets to the line of scrimmage. They don't pick up the first down.
And Pete Carroll is going to challenge the spot on the dive by Wilson. It is going to be a 27-yard try from this spot if it's not changed.
The runner made the line of game. Timeout. The runner was down with the ball just short of the line of game at the 8-yard line. Because the runner was short, Seattle did not win the challenge. They are charged with their first timeout.
So being short of the line to gain, being short of that first down marker, costs Pete Carroll his first challenge. A timeout and a chance for an extra challenge. Even though they moved it a little bit closer, not enough for a first down, and now a 26-yard try as they bump the football forward less than a yard. And movement prior to the snap.
False start. Offense number 64. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
You get J.R. Sweezy, which will make it a 31-yard try.
He was right there. And go back to the decision by Pete Carroll to challenge the spotting of the ball, Joe. I agree with the decision on his part. I think it was close enough and worth the chance and worth risking a timeout this early in the game.
This game features two very good kickers in Hauschka and Prater. Hauschka hits from 31. This game started with a score in a blink on a snap over the head of Peyton Manning for a safety. To keep the Seahawks out of the end zone. Field goal by Hauschka after a 9-play drive covering 4.5 minutes. Holiday waiting for another. This time out of the back of the end zone. So Peyton Manning in the offense for the Broncos will start and now flagged with a late hit. A flag just came in.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Kicking team number 83. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the 20-yard line. First down.
They get Ricardo Lockett for that hit on Omar Bolden. And so that moves the ball up to the 35. We're a long way from Seattle, but it is loud. Here's Moreno. And Noshan picks up 3. Cliff Avril in on the stop. Well, which part of it do you want to look at for the Denver Broncos? The record-setting 606 points, the touchdowns, the year for Peyton Manning, his 5th MVP. What they can do to you on the outside of the tight end spot and a good offensive line.
Yeah, where do you start in trying to slow that down?
Number 1 defense trying to do that. Pass is caught, big hit. Cam Chancellor. He made the hit on Thomas. And a gain of just 2, and Demaryius Thomas got popped.
Now Cam Chancellor, 31, the strong safety. He's looking it up. He's expecting the crossing routes. Demaryius Thomas, they cover everybody up well on the outside. He's coming underneath. And Cam Chancellor in that zone coverage comes up and lays the wood.
3rd down and 5. Manning. Pass is caught by Thomas, but short of a first down. Julius Thomas, the tight end, good for 3, and it's a quick 3-and-out for the Denver offense.
Yeah, you look at Denver in the regular season, Joe, they had the 2nd fewest 3-and-outs in all of football, and so Not a great way to start this football game. The first play of the game, the snap over Peyton Manning's head, and then they come out after Seattle's able to get 5-point lead, unable to do anything on the offensive side of the ball.
Even after the penalty and starting at the 35. A punt from Colquitt. Short one. And a fair catch called for and taken in by Golden Tate. He's as big as a linebacker. He plays safety. His name is Cam Chancellor, 6'3", 232. Next time, Broncos got it 3-0. And so this drive will start at the 28. After the punt by Colquitt. Back to work, Russell Wilson. Wilson fires incomplete for Tate. Are you ready for the biggest concert of the year? Stay tuned for Bruno Mars with special guest, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, in the Pepsi Super Bowl 48 halftime show. Get hyped for halftime. Second and 10. It's Lynch. Well played by the Denver defense. Third down coming up. A gain of just 2. Nate Irving was in there on the stop.
Well, it's pretty obvious here in the early going, Joe, as far as what Denver is trying to do. I mean, they've stacked the line of scrimmage. We've seen a couple runs, one by Percy Harvin, but Marshawn Lynch here in the early going, which is the toughest time to run the football. They've held up very well, and they're one-on-one on the outside with these receivers.
Third down and 8. Wilson again out to his left. Pass is caught by Golden Tate. And a first down for Seattle.
Denver likes to give a lot of different looks in the secondary. They only rush 3 guys, which allows Russell Wilson to keep it alive. And Golden Tate works back down the sideline, gets past the markers, and picks up another first down for the Seattle offense.
And again, Russell Wilson out to his left. They made him throw going to his left.
I've seen him many a times, Joe, throw well going to his left. He's better going to his right, but don't think that he can't do the things that he wants to moving to his left.
On first down, Wilson finds a fullback, Robinson. Shook one tackle, and Robinson crossed the 45, a gain of 6. Russell Wilson, the 75th overall selection back in 2012, and all he's done is take over and win. Got his team to the playoffs last year. Now he's got them in the Super Bowl year 2. Second and 4, Lynch brought down. And the play made by Mitch Unrein. No gain, and Unrein held on to bring him down.
No, Mitch Unrein is one of those unsung guys that really has contributed a lot to this football team, and he just beats Max Unger right off the ball, and he gets the penetration in the backfield, and then everybody else rallies, and that's what they have to do. The inside pressure against Marshawn Lynch, and they will be effective if they can do that throughout this game.
Third down and 4. Blitz. Wilson fires, pass caught. First down, Doug Baldwin. And a nice catch by number 89, a gain of 6.
Yeah, set up pretty well. And Denver, as we saw in the previous third down, only rushed 3. This time they bring 6. And so everybody's locked up in man coverage, and it's one-on-one. Doug Baldwin against Champ Bailey. They try to run that natural rubbing action up the field there and frees up Baldwin for the first down. It's a nice drive right now for the Seahawks,
who are 3 for 4 in converting third downs to start the game. Pass caught by Harvin. And Percy Harvin, who was led by the throw, picks up 5.
We talked about Percy Harvin a little bit earlier, Joe, and the various places that they're going to align him to try to allow them to get the ball into his hands quickly. We saw the reverse on the first possession. Now they put him in a stacked position and they allow him to get the wide receiver screen. But he's a dynamic player, and for a guy who hasn't played any more than what we've already said, just a couple of games this year, he has a prominent role within this game plan.
Toss to Lynch, throw back to Wilson. He's in trouble. Russell Wilson just flips it forward. He was outside the pocket. He was under pressure, but did the ball get back to the line of scrimmage?
I don't think it did, Joe.
Well, they don't throw the flag. Terry McCauley made the announcement. We couldn't hear. Luke Wilson, I guess, in their estimation, close enough to it. And so now it's 3rd down.
Yeah, didn't get to the line of scrimmage, but at least was close enough to a receiver, and an excellent job by Russell Wilson just getting the ball out and not taking the loss.
Harvin started the play in the backfield. Wilson's going to float it. Baldwin downfield. What a throw. What a catch. 1st and goal.
I was talking about how they're locked up one-on-one with these receivers, and he starts up outside, and then he's able to get up the field. Baldwin again on Champ Bailey, and he had plenty of separation, and Russell Wilson just had to make sure he didn't overthrow him on that ball.
37-yard completion. 1st and goal from the 6. Marshawn Lynch. Penalty flag on the play, and Lynch is thrown to the ground. Nate Irving made the stop. Here's the call. Against Seattle.
Holding, offense number 60. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
He's going to his first Pro Bowl. That's the center, Max Unger.
See Max Unger there. He got the hold on Terrence Knighton, and Terrence Knighton is going to be a handful throughout this entire game.
Now 1st and goal. Handoff is to Lynch. And they have stuffed him pretty good so far. They've been up front making plays on the Denver defense. Sean Phillips was the first guy there to make the stop.
We'll go back and take a look at the route here by Doug Baldwin and how he got freed up. Golden Tate, you know, they're anticipating man coverage. Can you get the rub? But they get Champ Bailey to hold up just enough and create that separation. And I know these receivers, they don't feel like they get enough respect around the league for the job that they do, Joe, and they're probably right. They're a lot better than people realize.
Now 2nd and goal. Play clock at 1. Harvin dropped it. They didn't blow a whistle, but it's an incomplete pass. Clearly forward. Now 3rd down and goal.
Well, the one thing about it, Joe, when we were visiting with Jack Del Rio, and you say, how do you control Marshawn Lynch? And he said, well, the way we control him is we have to win on 3rd down so he doesn't get as many rushing attempts. Well, they've done a great job against Marshawn Lynch. They just have not been able to get off the field on 3rd down.
And now a challenge flag is thrown by John Fox. He's challenging to make sure this was a forward
Denver
pass.
is challenged, but the pass was backward, and they clearly recovered in the continuing action.
They did
Timeout.
recover in the continuing action, but a challenge from John Fox looked like a forward Broncos were 1 for 7 on challenges this year. About to be 1 for 8.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The pass was forward and incomplete. Denver is charged with their first timeout.
Well, you said you agreed with the challenge by Pete Carroll earlier. This is one that goes down, in my mind at least, as a waste. And now neither head coach will get the bonus challenge. Each side down to 1 challenge remaining.
Yeah, I think that's maybe even the bigger point is you lose a timeout, of course, but then only being left with 1 more challenge through the next 3 quarters.
Now 3rd and goal. Wilson, end zone. Pass is incomplete. Kurtz lost it going to the ground. Had it for a moment, tried to get both feet down, and then lost it going to the turf.
Well, he had it just for a moment. You're right, Joe, and Nate Irving was able to get his hand in there and just get it loose because Kurtz had it. You see, he's got it with strong hands, but Nate Irving reaches in there with his right hand and is able to jar it loose. So an excellent play by Nate Irving, saving the touchdown.
A guy who's playing for the injured Von Miller, who tore his ACL 3rd week of December. Hauschka's 2 for 2. This one good from 33, but again, Denver able to hold. You want it. Sign up at NFL.com/now. This secondary for the Seahawks, they were really excited for this matchup against Peyton Manning and these Bronco weapons.
Well, to say Earl Thomas is intense is an understatement.
4 men on the rush. Pass caught. That's Welker. Welker got hit hard, a gain of 5. Peyton Manning had a 400-yard game in the AFC Championship game. First time they've failed to score on consecutive drives this postseason. They had the bad snap, then a 3-and-out. Moreno left side. And no shot. Ball's out. Recovered by Denver. Out there making the recovery was Zane Beadles. After Moreno coughed it up, Clemens knocked it out.
Clemens strips him of the ball, and that's an area where Denver has really been poor. They've been good in so many areas, but turnovers has not been one of them, and most of them have been fumbles. They led the league in lost fumbles during the regular season.
Now 3rd down and 7. They're coming after Manning. Pass is too high and picked by Chancellor. Intercepted by Cam Chancellor, with Julius Thomas the intended target.
Well, it's 1-on-1, Joe. Julius Thomas, he's trying to get down the middle, and an errant throw by Peyton Manning. Cam Chancellor playing center field right there to make the play.
That's his 2nd of the postseason, 5th of the year. Turnover, Denver, Seattle's ball.
Come see what's possible when we do things together.
This #1 defense of the